Most parents would be alert to things like smartphones, tablets, laptops and computers. Those are the really obvious things, but they might not think about the things that aren't as obvious, like smart TVs, gaming consoles, and even the home Wi-Fi device. All of these items have got settings that parents can use to restrict the kind of content that their children can access. It allows them to restrict the kind of websites that can be accessed, the kinds of programs that can be downloaded, and the kind of functions that are available within those systems. Parents are really alert to the risks that may exist online, so having some really good basic ground rules is always your starting point. Knowing, how to set up a strong password and not sharing that with other people. Kids will know not to give out their full names and phone numbers and home address and date of birth. And the really great thing about that is parents can establish those rules at home, and they are reinforced in our schools when they do cyber safety with students at schools. And those are good ground rules, but what that looks like in real life can be a little bit uncertain for kids. So kids who might know that they shouldn't give out their school details would be quite happy to post a picture of themselves in their school uniform. They might, for example, know not to give out their address, but might film a YouTube video with their address in the background or their house in the background. So those are the kinds of things that kids might not be alert to. So parents really do need to have that involvement so they can just keep an eye out. It is harder for parents. It is a bit more of a challenge now because we've got so many different types of devices and they are so portable. So again, having those ground rules around what's accessed when is so important. Probably a good starting point is always to make sure that these devices are used in the shared areas of the house so that you can keep an eye on your children when they're actually online. Parents should certainly be checking the browser history on their children's devices and on their computers, and probably something to be alert to is that kids are pretty savvy these days, so an empty internet browser history is probably just as concerning as one that has some inappropriate sites on it. Parents are alert to the risks that are online and they do want to protect their children. So some parents, for example, will put some limitations on their children's access to social media, but would still be quite happy for them to do online gaming, thinking that it's a safer option. The same kinds of risks apply because a lot of online games these days have chat functions, have teleconferencing functions, and have actual social media profiles attached to it. So the same rules apply around knowing what your child is doing, knowing who they're interacting with, the kinds of conversations that are occurring, and providing some parental involvement and engagement around that. We know that parenting is all about open communication and that honesty with your children, and that absolutely extends to online safety. Being able to have honest conversations with your kids about what they're doing online, what they're interested in, who they're interacting with, it's a fantastic element of online safety. And when we find that children are able to have these very honest, open conversations with their parents about the good things that are happening, they're much more likely to feel safe about raising any problems that they're having, but also to have the opportunity to be able to do so. I mean, the internet is a wonderful resource for children and parents, and we know that we can actually use it to bring out the best in ourselves. So with some good ground rules, some open communications, and some parental involvement and engagement, parents can unite to build a better internet.